everyone, welcome to Backstory Sessions. I'm your host Matt. We hope you enjoy this episode.
Hey everybody, it's Kat, and I want to welcome you to this episode of Backstory Sessions. I'm joined today by my co-host Matt. Hey Matt.
Hey Kat, hey everyone, how are you?
This is a very exciting episode that we are having today.
Yes, for sure.
So, the movie The Hill is out, and we have the guest Rickey Hill, who the movie is based on the life of.
Yep, that's true, we do.
And so I guess in some ways, I think you could probably relate to this on one aspect, and then I would relate to it on the writing aspect of someone's life. So, when we first met, I was writing a play about your life, and so that's not a lot different than a movie.
True.
So I guess how did you feel about your life being played out on the stage?
I don't know, it was kind of strange, for sure. I hadn't thought about a lot of the things that were in the play in a long time, and, that was kind of weird for me, like, remembering all that stuff.
What's it like seeing, whoever plays you, does that seem weird? They're like saying they're living your life, but
No,
it's
not really. Yeah, it's just, it was what it was. I mean, we had some pretty good actors who were playing me and other people. It's kind of interesting. I'd never really, been involved in plays and things like that. So, I mean, that aspect of it was interesting to me.
Yeah. Well, I know in the writing process, so from the writing perspective, I wanted to make everything as close to the way it really was as I could. I mean, obviously, you didn't have a tape recorder, of all the dialogue for me just to sit and listen to and,
Right.
write verbatim. So I had to try to take the story, that you told me and make up the dialogue to be as authentic as I, the way I interpreted it. So, did you find it to be fairly accurate in that way?
I mean, for the most part, yeah, it was pretty accurate. You had me, doing things I might not do, but,
Like cry.
yeah, yeah. But,
Like the big acts.
yeah, I mean, other than that, it was relatively close to the way things were. I mean, close enough that you get the point of what was happening.
And so I guess the tendency is there, or could be there. I don't think it was so much in my case because your story had, quite a bit of dramatic moments and conflicts and all of that already built into it.
Yeah.
But, you always hear these movies perhaps are sensationalized a bit just to, make things a bit more interesting or whatever. So,
Right, we call that poetic license.
yeah, I mean, I don't think that, other than the crying, which you took out,
Right.
um, I don't think that I was overly dramatic in the way that I told the story.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, I think, there were a couple things that were a little bit over dramatized, but it generally, excuse me, generally it was the way things were.
And do you find, like, reflecting on it, that it was a positive experience to have that much of your life exposed, I guess?
Um, Positive in what way?
Is it cathartic, I guess, to like get that off your chest in a way, like all the things that as you look back on them, like I would think it would have to impact you in some way to
Um,
relive them.
I mean, yeah, I guess in some ways it was, but I mean, in other ways it was just like things that had happened, and I had like put them behind me a long time ago. So, I mean, just to take those things out and look at them again, and have other people look at them um, it was a little bit difficult because I've said this before. You just struggle with like how much to tell. Where's the line that you want to stop at, and not go any further, because I mean they're all personal things, and like some things you just don't want out there, I guess.
And we talked a little bit about this in our episode last season of the things involve other people, and in portraying the truth of the way that you experience it. It could it could be hurtful to the other person that is in the scene with you, or that went through this time with you.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, there's always three sides to every story, right? Yours, mine, and the truth. So, um, the way I remember things might not be the way that somebody else in the same, the same scene, the other person, or the other people involved, they may not remember it the same way. So, it's all from my perspective. So, it may have been hurtful to me, but to them it might have been something entirely different.
And so I guess this would be a question I don't think I've ever asked you, but if the situation were reversed, as far as if one of the other characters was the one telling the story and they had told it in a way that portrayed you in a negative light, how would you have felt about your life being exposed in that way?
Um, I, nobody's perfect, and everybody makes mistakes, and you are the way you are at different times in your life, and if it was that's the way it came out at that time, then I guess I have to own that. A lot of people don't want to, they don't want to be portrayed that way because they just don't want to be embarrassed or whatever. But I mean, it is what it is. To me, it's like, well, maybe I was a drunken asshole at some point, but I'm not now. So, you know,
Right.
I just look at it that way.
Well, I am very curious to see, how Rickey Hill feels about the Hill, and how close to the truth of the events, and, you know, um, like the conflicts that inevitably are going to be in it, um, how he felt about those, and those, and exposing those, or, being vulnerable to tell those.
Yeah, it'll certainly be interesting for sure.
Well, it's really exciting that we have a guest, and we have like already a way to that we relate, either in my perspective from writing the story, and your perspective from it being your story. So it'll be fascinating to get to talk to someone else that's been through that same type of experience.
Yep, for sure. I mean, you know, it, it'll be interesting to get his take on, yeah, I mean, all of that, like the things that we just talked about, and is everybody's got a story, and some are great, some are not so great. I mean, so it'll be interesting to see how he feels about all of it.
Yeah, because really, if you think about it, like, that's how we met. And had I not told your story, we would definitely probably not be doing this podcast.
Probably not.
Yeah. So, you know, all the listeners out there can be thankful that, you know, your story was told. And now we're telling other people's stories through our
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah, and I swear that book is coming out soon. So
We do have that on audio, like several times of that being promised. The
yeah,
Unstoppable is coming out, but yeah, it will.
yeah,
And we have the hotel sessions and some others that
yes, my latest creation.
right. So here we go. I mean, it's gonna be a good episode. I'm excited to have Rickey Hill with us, and this is a fascinating movie. I really enjoyed it, and I'm very curious to ask the questions that I have in my mind about it.
All right, well, let's talk to Ricky and see what he has to say.
Rickey Hill, I want to welcome you to Backstory Sessions today. It is such an honor to have you as our guest. So welcome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, I have so many questions, but I guess first of all, um, were you a fan of like motivational movies before The Hill was made?
Actually, I was a fan of Rudy, and I was a fan of Hoosiers, and I was a fan of the rookie in baseball. And it was all interesting because all three of those came together and kind of tied into my film because the writer of Rudy and Hoosiers wrote my script, and then also he not only did he write the script, but then all of a sudden we look at the rookie of the movie, the rookie in baseball. Dennis Quaid played the pitcher in the movie,
Right.
and so it's interesting to me that those two or three that you're talking about there, it really, um, how in the world did it come to be casted and thrown to my film that some two that I really loved, and here they are and
And
doing my film. Yes.
yeah, and then here you are. I mean, did you ever imagine that your life story was going to be, right up there with those movies that you have loved?
I would have never ever pictured this of a lifetime. I never would have. Um, Especially, uh, I didn't. It's so weird. There's people that don't know this. I have to bring this to your attention first. I was offered this story in 1977,
Wow.
the year Elvis passed away and Elvis died. That's the year I was offered for the Hollywood to do this film. Later on, about 2 years later, somewhere in that area, I was thinking about going ahead and letting them have the story that my brother wrote. My brother had written this story, and he gave it to me for our family, for all of us to keep the story about what happened and how I signed a major league contract, which is he thought was pretty invincible, and it really is. It's something no one's ever done. But saying that, I wound up saying no to Hollywood and turned it down because my parents both became ill at the same time. I did lose my father. He just turned 50 years old. Lost him. My mother had a brain tumor at 47 years old. We knew we were going to lose her, and we did not. We made that through that, and I never did expect the movie to go really any further, and because that immediately shut it down for me, losing both my mother and my father at the same time. and then trying to finish it and try to make it into the big leagues with the diseases that I've had. It was a pure battle. So I better stop there and let you ask the question. So go ahead.
Well, I mean, I did not know that part of the story, but um, I guess in a way that makes it all the more incredible that we find out what happened now. Like, how does it go from 1977 to what changed to make it again a viable option for a movie? How did that happen?
Well, I'll tell you this: in 5, in 2004 and 5, Hollywood came calling again, wanting the film, and I kept saying no and no. I don't want it. I don't want to do it. And finally, I had this man at my church ha told me that, Rick, we got to set it free. I talked to my brother about it, and I talked to my mom about it because she was alive, and we decided then to set it free and let this story go because we didn't know what was going to happen with it. We had no idea, and little did I know it was going to land all the people that it did.
So, how did your brother? Was he a writer? Does he write other things, or what about your story? You said it was he was writing it, so your family would have kind of, I guess, something to share through generations of what happened. But does he also write other things, or?
No, he didn't. He just wrote this one story. It's 56 pages about what I did, and it was the story he named it was How to Become a Professional Baseball Player.
Uh,
And he wrote what happened on the big night that I had, and he wrote all about that and before, and he wrote a little bit about the stuff that we went through as a kid growing up, very poor, and I remember eating Alpo out of a can, and days where things were really tough, things that's not even in the film, but yet he wrote all this and he gave it just for our family only. And a man at our church got it, took it to Hollywood. Next thing you know, Hollywood's wanting it, and they didn't leave us alone until finally they got it.
so, what was the hesitation this time that you just didn't want to let it go at first?
Well, the hesitation this time is that, I didn't I didn't want everybody to think that I was just a washed up ball player because little did they know that I collapsed at second base and I was going into the major leagues with the Padres probably the very next year with my manager that I had the year before, and his name was Bill Brick, and I just left over in the Mexican League and had a big, huge year. I say there 3 years, it's only 3 months winter ball, but yet I had a big 3 months there, and then right before those 3 months, I had another big 3 months, and I won't even say what I did, but it's really really large in the home run area, and and I just knew it was going to happen, and then we had people didn't know at the time, but my brother just wrote when he wrote all this story about everything, and we decided to let it go. We decided to let it go together, which was about 2000. I think it was 2005. I had had my last spine surgery in 2000, and in 2005 we decided to let it go then, and that was 5 years after my last spine surgery.
Wow. And so, how much of the script ended up being changed for the movie? Is it pretty
Um,
close? to the original, or
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, what you see really is what you get. Now, of course, I did not say all those words exactly,
right?
but what you see is really what you get. I mean, I don't really. We needed about 5 hours to do this movie, and we could go on and on and on with this film, probably 100 hours. Uh,
Sure.
we could they could make a series out of this if they wanted to, if we let them. But I don't know if we even want to do that or not. But saying that, um, it's pretty much all there. Um, Hollywood always puts their nice little glitter on it. It seems like, but they got the message across, and the message was what they got across was exactly what happened.
Was there anything in there that you were kind of on the fence about including, or did you want to be transparent with everything? Because there's some really, really tough situations in the movie that you went through and your
Well,
family.
yeah, yes, there is. There is one, and I'll tell you. And I fought them on this, but the way that I went to Red Murph and told Red Murph about what y'all saw in the scene, Colin Ford walks up and says, "Red, I'm one of the best hitters here." Well, that's not what happened. I had, in order to even be on that ball field, you had to have a number and a color coded on your jersey, and I didn't have either. So I climbed the wall, went out to the pitcher's mound where he was, and he's standing there talking to the scouts. And I tapped him on the shoulder, and he looked at me right in the eye, kind of meanish looking, and he said, "Do you know where you're standing?" Well, I'm scared to death of this guy. I mean, this guy's 6'6", and he's standing on top of an 18-inch mound. And I'm scared to death now. I'm a young kid. I'm 18 years old. And I said, "No, sir, I don't." He said, "You're standing on the hill." Now, how interesting is that?
Wow.
The hill is a pitcher's mound. If people don't know that, it's a pitcher's mound. So anytime you ask a ball player, "Hey, who's on the hill tonight?" That means who's pitching tonight.
Mm.
And so he said, "You're standing on the hill." That means basically get off my hill. That's what he said. Get off
Yeah.
my hill. So I got off. He said, What can I do for you?" And I said, I read. I just wanted to let you know this, and this is what I was the only change in the movie that I would have changed. So I'm glad you guys did not put a time clock on this interview. But he did say this. He said, "What can I do for you?" And I said, "I just wanted to let you know before I leave here tonight." I said, "The best hitter in this camp is going home." And I said, "It's a shame you're never going to get to see it."
Hmm.
And so his comment made Sports Illustrated as well. He came back and he said, "Well, I tell you what, if your bat is in tune with your tongue, you're a hell of a hitter."
Wow.
I'd never heard words like that before, of course, in the 70s. I never heard that. He said, "So you honestly think you're the best hitter in this camp?" I said, "No, sir, I don't think so. I know so."
Hmm.
That's how the truth is of that. That's how I got my chance to get up to go 11 for 11.
So where did that come from you? Like, that took a lot of guts to take that approach, but you were
It
so determined.
exactly. It's amazing to me. I always said this all along, and I always tell these people, don't I understand not everybody's spiritual, but I am. Um, I was told in my mind, turn around and go back to the camp. I mean, I'm going, why? Go back to the camp. Why? go back to the camp. I turned around in the car, went back to camp, climbed the wall, went out, told him what I told him, and he gave me the chance of a lifetime, which he didn't have to give, and he did. He gave me that chance, and that night I got to prove it. All you have to do is go on YouTube with Red Murph. A lot of people don't know this. YouTube Red Murph, Murff, and you can watch on Fox Sports him in his nursing home telling the story.
Hmm.
Wow.
Cool.
So
So,
when you guys get off, I want you to go to the YouTube Red Murph, and you will see me and him speaking. I'm holding his hand. We're on Fox Sports in the interview, and him telling the story.
well, I'm definitely going to do that, and I'll post that link for our listeners too, so that after they hear this interview, they'll be able to go and watch that.
Yes, please, thank you.
So, what if, what if he still would have said no? Did you have another plan, or would
Yeah,
you?
if he would have said no, I probably would have told him, "Well, I'm not leaving."
So it sounds like it was gonna happen, like it was destiny. You went there, and you were gonna get your chance, no matter.
It was amazing because that wasn't me. Um, I wouldn't go get mouthy with anybody at all. That's not me. I was more of a quiet type of guy but did I know I could hit? Oh yeah. Yeah. Today I still feel like I can at my age. I still feel like I can go out there right now and knock it out of the park. It's just crazy.
Hmm.
And I've got rod spine in my spine, a rod, cages, screws, all in my spine, holding them together, and going up all the way through from this disease I had.
Mm-hmm.
And then started it with my legs as a child, but I wasn't taking no. And I probably would have not left the field, period. I would have said, well, I'm not leaving. And the amazing part was I didn't have to, because Red said, there's something about this guy. There's 9 scouts standing behind him wanting to throw me off the field. And the 9 scouts behind him was complaining that I did not earn my spot to be in the big finale game, the big tryout game that only holds 16 ball players, and they have 20 pitchers. They mainly look at pitchers. They don't look at hitters. But they only have 16 spots for each team, and you're going to play for one of them in a real game to see how you do. And then he made the challenge to me. I understand your leg is bad, so I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to let you DH for both teams, designated hit. And I like to swallow my tongue when he said that, because I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to get up 12 times.
Yeah.
That's or at least 12 times probably. I don't know, because I've heard that he won't even stop a game at 9 innings. He'll keep going because he's wanting to look at everybody's talent. And sure enough, I am playing for both teams.
That's really incredible. We've asked this kind of question before, so I'm curious. Do you think having a plan B is a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, I think it's a good thing, yes. If you get turned down, I think, and if you feel the motivation and you feel like you know what you know, I think it's a good thing. I think if you have any weakness at all and you're scared, I think it's a good thing for you just to go on down the road. But I was positive that I was the best hitter in that camp. And when you watch that video of Red Murph, watch what they see in the very end of the video.
Okay.
Yep, your mind will be blown. It's going to change this whole interview, I promise you. And by the way, you will be the first ones, period, that has ever heard what I just told you.
Oh
Awesome.
my goodness. Yeah. Well, now I'm like, okay, let's end the interview and go watch that.
Exactly, exactly. You're the very first ones that I have told this to, period. And I don't know why God has told me to tell you this, but there it is. You can go watch it yourself live right there on YouTube with Red Murph. And this man signed Nolan Ryan.
Mm,
Okay. I mean, to sign Nolan Ryan, the ultimate, the
yeah.
best pitcher ever in baseball. Nobody will ever catch his strikeouts. And as a matter of fact, I'm talking to his family tonight because they're thrilled about this movie.
Cool.
And they're thrilled about what it says. They're thrilled about the faith that's in it, because I never gave up.
Mm.
Well, let's talk about how you began. So what made you just start hitting rocks?
Um, we were so poor that when I say poor, I'm talking about, I don't need, should I say this or not, but Ethiopian poor. We were poor. We had a salary of $28 a month, and our house payment, or excuse me, house rental, where my dad was preaching at, was around $35 a month.
Mm.
So that doesn't equate in itself. And even that whole year, I went to school and didn't get to eat in the school lines at all. But I did get their chocolate milk. I still remember that.
Yeah.
Um, but at the end of the year, we owed for all the chocolate milk I had drank, and I didn't know that until we didn't have the money. Sorry, but anyway, I know this is another first story I've told you about. Um, but saying that, I had learned then. I went over the. We had railroad tracks behind the backyard where I lived, and I mean when I say backyard, I'm talking about it's probably 30 feet from our wall of our back of
Mm.
my bedroom, and that's how close it was in Bowie, Texas. And so what I did was I wound up um, going out there with leg braces on, and all I did was hit rocks all day long. I hit rock after rock after rock with a stick that I'd made, and that from just from my wood off a tree. And I hit these rocks all day long. My brother and he'd throw them to me, and I would just be tagging them, even wearing braces, a different type of braces at that time.
Mhm.
But uh, I just started hitting them, and I was just nailing them. I had this born ability to hit a rock, and it was all free. So yes, that's why I started off. And
And could you
then I
feel
go
like
ahead.
you were exceptional at rock hitting?
Yes, absolutely. I was hitting them. My brother was 5 years older than me, and I was hitting them way past him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so incredible. Do you feel like that, had you not grown up in poverty or with a spinal issue, um, would you have still pursued a career in baseball, do you think? Or did those adversities help you to go down this path?
Well, no. Had I not had them, I felt, and I still feel it today, that I would have been in the top 10 in home runs um, in history. I still feel that today
Mm.
because I hit the ball so far.
Yeah.
And people didn't realize I weighed 239 pounds, and I was 6'2" when I signed at 18 years old. I wasn't a small boy,
Wow.
and I had the biggest shoulders on the Expos team, so I wore the largest jersey because I was like just a bulldog, and I don't know why, but my mom was too, so maybe that had something to do with it. But yeah, it was. Yeah, I would have. I would have continued the game on had I not had this, but I believe that this. I also believe that it was predestined for this to happen. I believe God had a message, and this message was this movie. And this movie, it needs to be taught out to all the kids in the world today that, you know what, you everybody struggles one way or the other. They do.
Mm-hmm.
And we all have heartaches and times that we go 0 for 4, even at the plate. But guess what? There's another day. When you wake up that next day, guess what? It's time to shine. You got a new day. So I appreciated every day I got up because I might have went 0 for 4 that night at the plate, and the next thing you know, I might go 5 for 5 and 5 for 5. I did that one time, other time playing professional baseball. I went 5 for 5 in a doubleheader and 5 for 5 in the next, both of them 10 for 10.
Hmm.
Well, and if you quit, of course, then you're quitting, with a losing record, right? So,
Right.
and nobody wants that. So it's really, I hope that people take that away from this interview is, that if you quit, then that's it. Um, I found two characters really interesting. Maybe that were not meant to be necessarily, but your grandmother was one of them. What was she like?
Well, my grandmother's pretty much what you saw in the movie. She was a hoot.
Yeah.
Uh, I always gave my dad a hard time, of course. Uh, my dad just couldn't believe some of the things that she'd fire back at him because my dad was just a brand new preacher. He he just gone on the road preaching,
Hmm.
and she didn't like that idea, and because we didn't have no money, and we went from having money to not having money, and she didn't like that idea, and she lived with us, and so she didn't like that idea, but she would pick on my dad, as much as she could, as jokingly as she could. So Bonnie Bedelia, that played it in the movie, she hit it to the T. She really did. I mean, she was just brilliant. Bonnie Bedelia, it's amazing that lady played in both those movies with what's that movie's called? Die Hard. Both the Die Hards.
Oh,
She
yeah.
was the wife. She was the wife in Die Hard.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, that's her.
I didn't realize that part, but she was a very interesting character to me. And the other one was your girlfriend, or as she called you, her boyfriend.
Hmm.
That was the cutest line ever. So, you know, what happened with her?
Well, of course, we left, and then um, we left town for a good while. Didn't hear from a long time from her basically, and all of a sudden appears in my life one day, and next thing you know, we're a unit, and uh, that's what happened. That story.
Did you stay a unit? Like, did you end up married or?
Yeah, yeah, we married on home plate right there.
Oh,
I got married on home plate. It shows it at the end of the film.
right.
Us getting married on home plate, and yeah, it was it was a really a not a really a smart thing to get married so young in professional baseball. It really isn't because in baseball um, there's too many females in the
Distractions.
crowd that are trying to track you down. They're trying
Yeah.
to chase you down, and
Yeah.
and I don't know how to put that or say that, but
Yeah.
me being a Christian man, it made it the hardest thing in my life.
Well, I thought in some ways, like, it seemed like that story was meant to be that storyline, that she was so supportive of you even as a young age. And you kept all the letters. So is that true? Is that a true part of it? You did keep the letters she wrote to you?
Oh yeah, yeah. This interesting. I was going over that with her just a couple days ago. Um, it's very easily for because I don't even know how they even really wrote it right because I just had to tell them what happened, things that happened, what happened, how this happened, how that happened, because not all that my brother wrote, because my brother just wrote about me in baseball, not me and my girlfriend, my marriage, or
Right.
all he did was write about how I pulled this story off, and that's what they mainly wanted. They weren't really mainly, they really wasn't wanting anything other than how in the world did you pull that off? Well, you know what? That was a real good question for me too. How in the world can you pull that off? Because and it's really it's amazing. I get to talk to you guys today, so I'm very thrilled to talk to y'all because a reason is the man that can validate anything was my best friend all the way from the fifth grade on, and he got to see everything. Yeah, everything. For me,
Cool.
he went to every one of my games. He went to everything. He went to the tryout. He went to everything, and he was with me today. And it's amazing. I told him, I said, you know, Steve, they're going to want to interview you here pretty soon. I can promise you. I said, you can get ready for it because you're the only guy that can validate everything. Well, so did Red Murph. Wait till you guys watch the video when you
Yeah.
see Red, like I said. Wait till you see it. See, they don't put that out there enough. And by the way, if y'all are the first one, like I said, I just told this to, and I'm really glad to tell you because I liked your voice to begin with and the way you guys handle yourself. And so I'm really I'm always nice anyway, but I some people that I'm talking to, I just it's a bore.
Mm. Well, we try and make things interesting. So,
You
uh,
make it very interesting.
well, thank you. I'm curious. What does your brother think of all this?
Well, it's interesting. My brother just passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Um, yeah, he just passed away 7 or 8 months ago, and he just missed getting to see the film.
Mm.
Aw.
And when I tell you off the air why, I have to talk to you off the air. I can't talk on the air with
That's
this.
fine.
And but saying that, it's broken my heart some
Yeah.
because even today, as we speak, today was his birthday.
Oh, jeez. Oh, happy
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
birthday.
yeah. Yeah, he's in heaven.
Mm.
He got to see the movie before I did.
Mm.
So um, the way I look at it is that he he started it all out. It's just like I said for our family,
Yeah.
and he was just thrilled for our family to hand it all out to our family. My uncle and aunts got it. All of them got it, and I had no idea that we were going to take it to a buddy at church. A buddy at church takes it to Hollywood.
Hmm.
Had no idea.
So, what? So the movie is out now, correct?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, did you do the whole red carpet thing where you went to see the movie with people?
Yes, we did in Augusta, Georgia, is where we shot the film.
Hmm.
We went back to Augusta, and it was absolutely a beautiful red carpet. The sad part is the strike is going on, and we
Yeah.
have no actors can even show up,
Oh. Mm.
and that is so sad because um, we filmed it a year and a half ago.
Right.
So therefore, Hollywood to me is really it's it's kind of it's sad that they
Yeah.
couldn't let Dennis have a waiver where he could be there
Yeah.
to help um, put this movie out, you know, and like you do in all of them,
Right.
and going on, you know, Fox Sports, Fox News, going, you know, ESPN. Yes, we got a lot of things running on there, but we don't have Dennis.
Right.
Dennis Quaid, the main actor, and we need him.
What?
Yeah, he did an exceptional job as the dad.
It's been incredible job as my father. Incredible.
Yes. Wow. Well, let's hope this, writer's strike and all of this gets resolved. But that is very sad that he couldn't be there to attend that.
No, he couldn't be there to support it, or have we even or can we even talk to him? So it's very sad.
Yeah.
And so therefore they're calling on me to come out and do interviews.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mind. I'm used to interviews because when I used to play professional baseball, I had one nearly every night, and I got used to it. Um, Interviews from sportscasters,
Yeah.
about that night, about how many times I struck out. So, that's just a joke.
So so you're doing promotion for the movie now, and what's next for you? I mean, what else you
Well,
got going on?
well, in my life right now, I have got a couple small things that I'm doing. I am, since I've had all these surgeries, I don't even want to announce to you guys my surgeries because I can't really tell you the
Hmm.
exact amount, but I can tell you this much: it's a lot. Even before I was 4 years old, I don't know how many I had, but it was in the 20s. I know that.
Mm.
But um, I'm a financial planner.
Okay.
Uh, I am that, and I try to, uh, but I'm also, doing some investing myself
Hmm.
in other projects. So that's basically all.
Okay. I was just curious. I wondered what you were up to these days. I mean, aside from the movie. Um, so what was it like working with, meeting Dennis Quaid and some of the others that are in the film? I mean, were you a little bit starstruck, or how did that go?
Nah,
No?
nah, not at all. I used to live with Bill Murray,
Oh, really?
so yeah, you think I'm starstruck? No.
Probably not.
No.
Oh my gosh, I bet that was really a funny.
Yeah, yeah. See, and the thing is, you got to remember this: when when it's a baseball game, now you're in my world.
Hmm.
See, you're an actor, but you're out there on the ball field, so you're in my world.
Right.
Okay, I'm not in yours. You're in mine. So
Yeah.
you can't hit a baseball, and you can't throw a baseball, and you can't even think about it. Or I can, and you can't.
Right.
So that's how I led Bill Murray back during the days of Bill Murray days when he'd come and stay with us for a long period of time. In fact, I'm telling you again now for the first time. You ready for this? Here we go. I was on Saturday Night Live in 1978,
Wow.
October 20, October 28th.
Wow.
It's called What We Did Last Summer with Bill Murray.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
Yes. And so I won't tell you how I did it, but I pulled it off and made him basically do it. But he was when he come and stayed with us, and we're playing ball, and I'm playing in the minor leagues, working our way up, and I was leading the league in home runs,
Hmm.
and they even made it. They make so many mistakes on Baseball Reference. It's a joke, but I actually led the league in home runs.
Hmm.
I had 18, and they only gave me 15. I don't know why, but that was only in 200 at bats.
Hmm.
That's not many at bats to have
Yeah.
18 home runs. But saying that, Bill used to come out and always, work out with us all the time. So I couldn't be starstruck because he's in my world.
Yeah.
He's in my career. So he loved to work out with us and wished that he could be as good as us. And so I don't even really want to tell you what I told him because I don't want to say it. But I'll put it this way: I said some funny things to him. I'll put it to you that way. Okay.
Don't quit your day job.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. All right, Kat, one more question.
Okay, so I've been thinking of my last one, and I guess I want to know, like, what did you learn about yourself throughout this whole process of making the movie? Because I know you've had to look back at a lot of your life to, you recall it for giving the writers information and that kind of thing. So, was there anything that you learned that maybe you've forgotten or just give more thought to?
Well, there's so many things that's in this movie that could be in this movie that's not. So many things that are so just amazing. I'll be upfront with you. My life, I think, has been the most amazing life. Nearly, I guarantee you, I can probably fit in the top 20 in this world. But um, I did not go over and save all these guys and child trafficking. I didn't do that. No, I didn't do that. That's a rough road. But would I have been afraid to do that? No, I would not have been afraid at all. In fact, I would have loved it. But what I learned, and this is a tip top thing, I want to throw this out to each and every person that hears this. I learned this that, my faith in God was very tremendous, and that I didn't understand how in the world I never could get the answer why God took and gave me this disease, took my parents. My mother did live, but my father died. Took them the same time, gave me this disease from all I'd fought through and gotten through, and even with the pain, I slept on the bus and traveled, and I always slept in the floor with my feet up on the chair just to play another day because my spine was so bad. And so I did that. I never slept in a bed all the years of baseball. I slept on the floor, the legs on top of the bed. I always wondered why he would take this away from me. And I got my answer. And the answer was this movie. It was predestined, it was ordained, and it was supposed to happen. And that's what I would like to say to the public and each and every one. I might have taken the hits for it, the spine injury. Yes, I did collapse at second base and didn't walk for nearly a year. But I would like for them to take it out, the fact that, this was really predestined. And God let me know, hey, I'm in control here. And this makes a beautiful story. And that's what I believe in my heart.
Well, that's a very beautiful message and lesson and legacy that movie will be able to reach so many people. So it has been such a pleasure to have you as a guest today. I know we've only just barely touched the surface of all the things of your life, but we do appreciate you sharing those with us so openly.
Well, I appreciate it too. This has been one of my finest ones. In fact, I think this is the top I've been on, and I just want to say I appreciate it because I do get interviewed, 6 and 8, 10 times a day, and I'm right now. I'm gonna have to say you guys are right at the top. It's been the easiest one for me. The questions are right, and I know you're walking away with things that I haven't told other people. They don't even know, and you guys do. So, so yes, use that to an advantage, and I hope I can help y'all show as much as is that you guys help us.
Well, we really appreciate your time, and we hope that you'll come back and talk to us again.
I want to. You can call me anytime.
Awesome.
Anytime.
All right, Cat, you heard that.
Love to talk to you guys. Anytime. I really mean this. If you feel like calling me and you don't call me, it will hurt me. It really will.
Fair enough.
The pressure is on now, Matt.
There you go. It will really hurt me. I really do.
Well,
it's open for me.
I can guarantee you that maybe next season we will give you a call and see what you're up to, and get an update from you.
Well, this movie's. We're hoping this thing lasts in theaters for at least 6 or 8 weeks, and we just need to get it out.
Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of people in Corbin, Kentucky, so a shout out to the Tri-County Cineplex who are going to see it this weekend. So, it's definitely, a lot of people are very excited about it, and faith-based, that aspect of it is very appealing to many people too. So I really appreciate that you've told some of the backstories and just the story of you. I feel like we've gotten to know the person that I saw in the movie just a little bit better.
Well, you know what? I appreciate you saying that, because I have my character means a lot to me. People can talk about you and make things up and say things anytime they want to. It seems like these days they just make a story up. So I'm sure I'll get bombarded somewhere. I don't know where, but I just know I know that I still have faith that God will take care of me no matter what. And I am hoping that every church in Kentucky, everywhere around your area, I hope every church tells every one of their people, the parishioners and the preachers and all of them, tell them to go see it. Would be great for them. The churches all together up, and they even go see it. I've had, in the last 2 days, I have had more people from telling me that their preachers are telling them all to go see it. It's blowing me away. I haven't even talked to a preacher, and it's amazing the preachers are all telling them to go see it. You'll learn from it.
All right. Well, there you go. All right. Again, we appreciate your time, and we will definitely have you back, and we'll talk again soon.
Okay, brother. All right, man.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your.
Thank you so much. Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay.
As always, if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, you can send those to Kat at iWritePlays@outlook.com, or you can write to me at backstorysessions@gmail.com or matt@level11ventures.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.